What's up, everyone? Shaq here, and you know who this is. He represents TNA Wrestling, equipped with a moonsault that would give Tiffy Time a run for her money. AJ Francis, how are you, sir?
I'm good. I'm good. I appreciate it. Me personally, I think my moonsault's better than Tiffy's just because I'm literally three times her size. But that's a whole different thing for a whole different time. Thank you for having me. And I appreciate you having me.
Well, we can separate them by the men's and women's division just so that I don't have to get in trouble with Tiffy for telling the
Yeah,
truth.
that's cool. That's cool. Yeah, that's male moonsault. I'll
Yes,
take it.
sir.
I'll take it. You know
Um,
who also has an incredible moonsault is there's also a woman is Io Sky
dude,
has an incredible. I saw her do one off the top of a cage at NXT when I was just a fan at NXT, and then and she had just got to NXT back when it was at Full Sail, and that was incredible. She's incredible too.
bro, the TV doesn't do it justice because I got to see her do it at Survivor Series War Games in
Oh,
Vancouver, and it's chaos, man. This whole thing she
it's
does, that she's real.
crazy.
That's real, bro. That ain't no gimmick.
And she's always my favorite thing about Io is she's always fly as hell. Like Io, like you can kind of see it with like her how she presents her character, but like how she dresses in real life, she's got like a really cool like fashion sense. So I always thought that was cool. I always liked that about Io.
Talking about chaos, is it hard sometimes being Casey Navarro's friend because it looks like you gotta save bro from himself sometimes.
Yeah, I mean it's not hard being his friend. It wasn't even hard being his tag team partner. It's hard when you gotta like KC's one of those guys that's like I could tell him something 55 times, but he's gonna listen to it when he wants to listen to it. So, he's a very talented kid, and luckily he's recovering very well, and he'll be back. You know, hope by at some point next year he'll be back. So when he gets back, I'll gladly choke slam him through a table, and start our storyline the way it needs to be.
So, what's going through your mind when you set up that when you start climbing the ladder to hit that moonsault? And you're like, bro, Casey, wrong ladder. This one was supposed to be
Wrong
like two
ladder,
feet
bro.
shorter.
Wrong ladder, bro. No, I literally there's no wrong or right in that situation. It's just when we went over rehearsals, it was an 8 foot ladder. So I was like, okay, I could probably go off the top of this. And then when we get to the match, I'm once the ladder's set up, I can't be like, mind you, Casey's also hurt. So I can't be like, hey, hurt guy whose job it is to set up the ladder, set up a different ladder. No, I just had to go with it. So as I'm climbing the ladder, I'm literally gauging. I'm like looking back, looking around. I'm like, I think this is about the height that I need to be at. But mind you, I've also never done a moonsault off the ladder, which is hilarious. I've never even done a moonsault off the top rope. I've only ever done moonsaults off the
Second
second
rope.
rope, which is A, more impressive, but B, like, it's there's a more danger to doing it off the second rope because you have way less time to clear. So like the fact that I could do it off the second rope, I know that I could do it off a ladder. That's just, that's easy. But I was like, well, as I'm walking up, I'm looking around, and it's one of those things like I'm in that moment, and I look around and there's 8,000 people just staring at me, and I'm like, "Whew, all right, let's go." And I go for it, and it's the greatest moonsault ever.
You, okay. That wasn't the only crazy ladder spot that we got to see at
It was not.
Slammiversary. I'm wishing Casey a speedy recovery. What are the conversations like backstage after the match when everyone was told, like, yo, don't let Casey do it? And Casey's like, nah, bro, I am taking this bump off the ladder.
Those conversations really didn't really work crazy because Casey was legitimately
Yeah.
hurt. So people were more focused
Mm.
on like him and him being okay and whatnot. And then it was funny because they were like, like I walked through the curtain holding KC, right? And I'm holding him in my arms like a baby. And people are like, AJ, are you okay? And I'm like, clearly I'm okay. I just carried a grown man, 60 feet back through the curtain. KC's the one that's hurt, but with my bump, with the way that my bump looked, it was so gnarly that like when I watched it back, like I took the bump, boom, and then I go through the ladder, boom, and then like I roll out of it, and I'm like looking because I know they're gonna show the replay. So I'm looking up at the jumbotron that I'm watching, and when I see what it looks like, because I know how I feel fine, I'm okay. But when I see what it looks like, I'm like, oh, everyone in here thinks I'm dead. So and because that was our last spot in the match anyway, and I didn't have anything to do until the match ended anyway, like people legitimately thought that I was dead, right? So when we come through the back and Nick Nimitz tells the story because he's watching the highlight, the replay too while he's selling, and he's like, oh my God, AJ's dead. And then he goes over to the ref. He's like, is AJ okay? And they're just like, yeah, he's perfectly fine. And Nick's like, oh, fucking course he is.
You know, there are easier ways to get a vasectomy.
Yeah, there are. What's funny is that everybody, it's weird. I've never had my dick in so many people's mouth, but uh I never the funny thing is that the only thing that hit was like my inner thigh, which the bruise is gone, but I had a gnarly bruise on like my inner thigh for like probably like a month, a gnarly ass bruise. Like it looked like I got hit with a baseball bat. But like I actually like it didn't like hurt. Like the 30 seconds into the match, the Hardys hit me with a ladder, and that hurt way more than me going through the ladder or off the
Mhm.
ladder. Like, so it's like it's wrestling's dumb like that. Like, I come out looking perfectly fine. KC took the bump the way it's supposed to be, and he's hurt, right? So it's like wrestling's dumb.
AJ, you're reading my mind, so I'm gonna take that pass you gave me and hit the segue. What's the most memorable Hardy Boys road story that's been told to you that you can relay to us?
Oh man, the best ones I cannot relay to you. Um, But I will say that Matt Hardy tells some great stories. Yeah, all of them I can't really say, but let's just say that back in the day, they used to like make the guys do things that they should not be doing of the legal variety and illegal variety to prove that they weren't stooges, right? So
Mm.
it's like a well, you're not an undercover cop. Why don't you do this blow, right? It's one of those things. So it's like, those are that kind of thought process behind, being a wrestler in the '90s and having to prove to the boys that you're one of the boys and not, you know, an undercover cop, right? So, the things that they have done, it's not my place to
No,
share.
that's okay.
If Matt Hardy wants to share, Matt Hardy can share. But just know that in the '90s, it was a wild time.
Bro,
And so I always say this too, that I think that I grew up in the right era because I hear stories about the things that some of the vets used to do to people in the '90s and '80s. And I know for a fact that I would either be wanted for murder or just be in jail for the response that I would have to some of the things that people used to think it was okay to do to other people.
it's wild how quickly we did like a complete 180 in pro wrestling from like
Hmm.
sex, blow, and rock and roll to
Hmm.
video game tournaments backstage.
Yeah, literally. And it's funny, it's like when the video games started being played backstage, people were like, oh, you guys are
So,
fucking
yeah.
losers. Oh, and now that's the whole community,
Yeah.
right? So it's just funny to me is like I'm definitely in the right era because AJ Francis would not have been cool with someone taking a shit in his bag. You would have had to fight me until one of us died, right? AJ Francis would not be cool with you throwing my gear bag in the shower. You would have to fight me until one of us died. AJ Francis would not be cool with you throwing my gear into a janitor's closet and telling me I had to dress in there. You would have to fight me until one of us died. So like, and then take on top the things that people say to people. It's just like it couldn't be me. It couldn't be me. Shout out all the wrestlers in the
Put
'90s,
up with that.
man, because y'all put up with some shit that AJ Francis could never. So shout out you.
I'm always super interested in the contrast between like athletes who get their door they get their foot into WWE from the jump versus those who make their way up through the independent scenes. And more often than not, all wrestlers will experience all facets of this. It's just a matter of, what
Hmm.
comes first, what comes second. What's the biggest thing you've learned about how to move in the pro wrestling business? Because it's a weird business that maybe AJ Francis was more oblivious to on his way in.
I always assumed that the best guy should get the best ops, and that's not always the case. It's whoever likes you. That's the biggest thing in wrestling is whoever likes you. Because I mean, if you look at my career in WWE, just look at the fact that COVID happened when I first got there, and we did a promo contest called Promo Madness at the Performance Center with every single person on NXT. Um, Doing promos against each other one on one. And it was a tournament like March Madness. And I won the whole thing. I beat everybody. I beat all the champions. I beat everybody that was there. It was never close. I was smoking everybody. And yet, when I got on SmackDown, I had in a year and a half, I had 45 total seconds of promo on air.
Mhm.
So it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, people love to be like, oh man, AJ, you've grown so much. No, no, I'm the same talent I was 2 years ago. I'm just now being
Sure.
used, right? I'm just now given a microphone. I'm just I didn't just be able to put on the kind of match I had with Mike Santana and a match of the year candidate match. I'm just now finally put in 20-minute singles matches with a storyline built up to it. You know what I'm saying? Like I've had four major singles matches since joining TNA, and all four of them are bangers. Me and Nick Nemeth for the TNA World Title, banger. Me and PCO at Slammiversary for the Digital Media Title, banger. Me and Mike Santana on Impact, banger. Me and Moose on Impact, banger. So it's like it's not that I'm just now good enough to do it. It's just that I'm just now getting the opportunities.
I know this stern self belief and the way you promote yourself can sometimes rob the pockets of the internet the wrong way. But what I find really interesting about you, AJ, and this is our first time talking, period, but I see you working with like BDE and Chris Danger. We have a lot of mutual friends among like the pro wrestling media, and a
Hmm.
lot of people who I consider to be very good people fuck with AJ Francis. Why do you
Hmm.
think there's maybe a bit of a disconnect between the professional perception of you and the public perception of you?
I intentionally don't give a fuck what people think about me. I like for years people told me how shitty I was, and if you go check my Instagram or Twitter comments, people still tell me how shitty I am every day. So like but they've never accomplished half of what I've accomplished. I'm working on my fourth studio album that drops on Sunday. I'm working on, this is my seventh year in professional wrestling. I've been in WWE, I've been in TNA. Let's talk about 6 years in the NFL. Let's talk about the fact that I have a master's degree in public policy. Like, I'm educated, I'm accomplished, I'm confident, and you're not going to be able to tell me that I'm not great. Have been told how shitty I am at everything my whole life. People told me I couldn't make it to, I wouldn't play college football. I started as a freshman. People told me I couldn't play in the NFL. I played in the NFL for 6 years, even though I was undrafted. People told me I couldn't get to WWE, and I did that in a year with one tryout, right? So, like, people told me that after WWE released me that I was done, and now I'm the biggest heel in TNA, if not the biggest heel in wrestling. So it's like I also play up to the fact that like if you don't like me, I'm gonna make you fucking hate me.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's how I've always been. I don't care if people don't like me. I'm inside of my house in Houston, which is the second house that I own, and I grew up broke. I own two cribs now and I grew up broke. Would I give a fuck what some loser on the internet thinks about me? And also, it plays great into my character. If you genuinely like BDE, and you want to see BDE shut me up, you're gonna tune in to see BDE fight me, even though I'm gonna choke slam him out of his fucking boots,
Again.
right? Like again and again and again and again and again. I'm gonna do it over and over again, and you're gonna hate me for it. And that's the whole gig. If you hate me, that's part of it. I don't mind that people don't like me. See, the thing is, a lot of people in this world want to be liked.
Mhm.
I don't care if I'm liked. I don't care if I appeal to what you think I should be. I don't care what you think I should be. I know who I am. I'm confident in myself. Everything that I've ever wanted to do, I've done. I've been on two Slammiversaries. I stole the show at both. So how you gonna tell me I'm not the guy?
Hot take. Unless you're Big E, because I think Big E is the exception to this rule. If you don't have a
Mhm.
single enemy, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah, and also let's talk it like it is. It's funny you mentioned it because in real life, heels are nice people and baby faces are usually assholes. Like that's usually how it works, and which makes it so funny, right? So like the people who know, you will not find Booker T will not say a bad word about me. Paul Heyman won't say a bad word about me. Rey Mysterio won't say a bad word about me. Tommy Dreamer won't say a bad word about me. Carlos Silva won't say a bad word about me. BDE won't say a bad word about me. Jay Uso won't say a bad word about me. Jimmy Uso won't say a bad word about me. Trinity Fatu won't say a bad word about me. So if you look at the people who say bad things about me, let's talk. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about the people who say the bad things about me. I say it in my song, Dear Summer, which is the first song on my album, Dear Summer. Have you ever noticed all the people in this business that talk the worst about me had to whitewash their racist past?
Hmm.
Mm. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about the people who talk bad about me. And let's talk about what they've said and done in their past, right? Because the people who know me, the people who care about me, the people who know how good I am, the people who have actually spent more than 30 seconds talking to me know that I'm a genuinely good person. And if you don't, it's because you don't know me and I don't care.
AJ, I don't know how to top that, but I do wanna. I do got some games I like to play on the way out here. So before we get to
Cool.
that, I always
Hey
put
man,
out.
take as much time as you want. I'm not in a rush
No,
to
I
go nowhere.
appreciate that. I mean, yeah, you set up the framing for me. You got the lights going for me.
Yeah, I
Okay.
got you.
Well,
Yeah.
well, okay. If you're not in a rush, then let me. I do have one follow up after the last thing you said. Name names. No, I'm kidding. What I wanted to ask was
They
you
know.
you mentioned owning your second home in Houston, being broke growing up. What would that kid growing up say if he could see what AJ Francis would become, as of September 18th, 2025, when we're filming this?
You did it.
Mm.
You did it. Everything you wanted to do, you did it. Now, my dad was a basketball coach growing up. So when I was a kid, I didn't want to be in the NFL. I wanted to be in the NBA. But I mean, tomato, tomato, my brother. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's not that big a difference between the two. Some would argue that it's actually more impressive to make it to the NFL because when you take injuries into account, it's a
Mhm.
completely different situation. Um, so like but yeah, there's nothing that I've ever wanted to do that I haven't done. Like I grew up listening to the likes of DJ Who Kid and Bun B, and now I got songs with 'em.
Crazy.
So it's like, you know what I'm saying? And that's just in music. I grew up loving the Hardy Boys, and now I have a iconic instant classic match with the Hardy Boys. That's a ladder match for a tag team
Mhm.
title. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I grew up loving football and I got to play with Tom Brady and Russell Wilson and I got to play for Bill Belichick and Pete Carroll and I got to play with Richard Sherman and Brent Grimes and all these great and Dominican Sue and Gerald McCoy and like I got to play with all the Cam Chancellor and like all these great iconic Vernon Davis and Stephon Diggs and all the Torrey Smith and all these iconic I played with them. Like I did everything that I wanted to do. And so if I died tomorrow, if someone took me out tomorrow because they don't like how I talk, then I would literally have had the most incredible, impressive life that I could ask
Mm.
for. And you can mourn for me, but be happy that I had the life that I asked for.
Oh, are you kidding me? Okay, here's like my crazy thing that I like to say when the subject of memorials and funerals come up. I don't want a funeral. We're gonna have a celebration of life. Cremate
Yeah,
me, roll me up in some blunts, roll me up in some cigars,
I
smoke
know. Yeah,
smoke me up.
yeah. Nah, here's the thing. I want you to put me in. I want you to put me in a pot and grow the sheep. You know what I'm saying? Grow it.
Love it.
You know, and then that way you can smoke me for eternity, brother. You
Ooh,
know what I'm
good
saying?
call.
Make me
Good
my own
call.
strand. You know
All
what I'm
right.
saying? You know what I'm saying?
This is better. And this might be a little more appetizing to people too, so than my ridiculous
Yes.
idea. All right. I always put out a fan Q&A, AJ, and there were some people who
Okay.
wanted to know, what's the craziest thing that you found or saw on WWE's Most Wanted Treasure that was left on the cutting room floor?
There was a guy, there was a couple. There was a guy who's like a huge Kane fan, like a
Mhm.
massive Kane fan. And he had like the oldest legit Kane mask that Kane wore during his run as Kane in WWE. And it was I want to say he wore it against Jericho at SummerSlam or something like that. I want to say that was the mask. And um it ended up not making the show because they offered him, he paid like 7,000 for it when he bought it, 8,000 for it when he bought it. They offered him $10,000 round trip first class travel to WrestleMania and like front row seats at all the WrestleMania events for that year. And he said no. He said, nah, I'm gonna keep this mask. And I was in there like,
Man,
bro, are you fucking like we brought Cade to his house.
that's
It was me and Cade in his house. This is, mind you, I couldn't even offer all that. I could only offer the money. Kane was like, I'll make sure first class travel, you get first row seats to all the shows at WrestleMania weekend. Kane said this. I didn't say this because I couldn't offer that. And I could only offer money. And he was like, nah, I kind of like it. You know what I'm saying? Da, da, da. You know what I'm saying? And it was crazy. Didn't even make the show. Another one that didn't make the show is that was really funny was um me, Hacksaw, and Booker enjoying adult things on on Hacksaw's porch in South Carolina. Now, it wasn't part of the filming of the show, but the camera was pointed at us. I know that film exists somewhere, but you know what I'm saying? That was fun. And as far as like items and stuff like that, when we went into Taker's storage unit, he had a bunch of stuff because him and Yoko were very good friends.
mm,
Yokozuna were very good friends, and he had a bunch of stuff in there from Yoko, and I steal a lot of stuff from Yoko. So Yoko's always had a special spot in my heart. So like that stuff was really cool for me to see that stuff, and none of that made the show, but all of those, though, there's a lot of stuff that couldn't have made the show, like dinner with Ric Flair, and those are always crazy times. Like Ric Flair used to be mad at me because I would show up 15, 20 minutes after everybody else because I had the audacity to go back to the hotel and shower before I came out for dinner. Everybody else, he'd be like, we already three tequila shots in. I'm like, oh, damn, okay, I'll catch up. And he would literally just order me three tequila shots and be like,
off the
yeah,
rip.
okay. Yeah, three shots for him right here. And I'm like, all right. And I just take it to the face. You know what I'm saying? So, like, stuff like that it was really cool.
I I'd like to think I've done a good job of weaning out the people pleaser in me over the years, but low key respect to the dude who's gonna look Kane in the face and say, "Nah, you can't have your mask back, bro." AJ, your audio's cut out for a second here. I'm not sure what's going
Unless you're
on. Oh, you're good.
tweaking,
You're
hold
good. You're
on.
good.
Uh, we came all the way to his house with Kane, and mind you, it was like Kane had to feel uncomfortable because when we go in there, like it's like a shrine to Kane.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not like everybody else has like that was like a major collector that we went to their house. Like they had one person that they really liked, but they had stuff from other people too.
Mhm.
No, this guy only had Kane stuff. It was Kane action figures, Kane mask, Kane a Kane mannequin with his gear on. Like the guy was obsessed with Kane, and it was kind of like I was like, okay, all right, yeah, as long as Kane's cool, I'm cool.
AJ, last thing, and we're gonna get you out of here. We've seen many rappers, many pro wrestlers try their hand at rapping. Some more successful than others. I got five here for you. Not necessarily the
Hmm.
best. I got five here for you. I'm asking you to blind rank them. So I'm
Okay,
sure you know how this works. You're not gonna know who's
okay,
gonna come next. You might be on
okay,
this list. You might not be on the list. We're just gonna have to see how it shapes
okay.
out. Okay.
Well, I'm gonna save myself for number one,
All
so
right.
don't worry.
First up, John Cena. Where are we putting him 1 to 5?
Oh, John Cena. I mean, you can't argue with the career that he's had. But John Cena himself told me that he couldn't rap with me and that he didn't like he would be doing a disservice to himself if he tried. Because I asked John to get on a song with me when I was still in WWE. He was like, bro, I can't. He's like, I can't do that anymore. Like it would be a disservice. He's like, and I've heard the things that you do, and it's just I can't I wouldn't be able to hang with you guys. So because I was trying to get him on a song with all of Hit Row, and he was like, nah, I can't do it. So, but I'll put John Cena at number two because I'm saving that spot.
All right, Max Caster.
Max Caster. See, Max is not. See, there's a lot of people that think Max is not good. Max is good. It's just his subject matter sometimes throws people off, and so because of that, I've already destroyed Max Caster in a battle rap at Fourth Rope. So, he's not. I don't think he's the worst. But if on this list, I would put him number four.
All right, what are we doing with old friend of Tupac's here? R-Truth, Ron Killings.
Oh man. See, I'm saving that number one spot for me. So I'll put Ron number three, but Ron could easily be number one. Cena could also be number one. But I would put Ron at number three. Yeah.
Okay, you got 1 and 5 left, so I think I know where this next one's going. What are you doing with the real one, Enzo Amore?
Oh, Enzo definitely on this list. Enzo's a very good friend of mine, but on this list, I would put him number five. I genuinely would put him number five.
Well,
Yes.
wise decision, AJ, because your number one pro wrestling rapper by default is Macho Man Randy Savage.
Oh my God. Nacho Man. Okay, this list is an abomination. All right. Shout out to Macho Man. The cream, I guess, rose to the top. But I just the fact that Macho Man tops the list and R-Truth is at three kind of hurts my soul. I'm
Yeah,
not gonna
I'm
lie.
sorry,
So
you played right into my hands on this one. I hate to
you
do this.
set me up. You set me up. You set me up.
Well,
Like Marion Barry. You said the bitch set me up. Yeah, like
it'll make for a better video. It'll make for a better reel this way, AJ. I
it will.
promise
It
you.
will. It will. It will. It will.
All right. Well, hopefully I haven't ruined any chance for a follow-up, but I'm going to give you the platform here. By the time this comes out, the new album will be out. Stream it anywhere you can cop it. AJ Francis, if there's anything you want to tell the people, the floor is yours, man.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you having me. Yeah, go stream Dear Summer. It's my album that I haven't put out an album in like 4 years. The last time I put out an album, it wasn't even under the name AJ Francis. It was under my old artist name. And so this is really technically my first album under my name. And I got some greats on there. I got, you know, DJ Who Kid, I got Bun B, I got Trick Williams, I got Brianna Brandy, aka B Fab, I got Tahuti Miles, aka Ashante the Adonis, I got the Saga, who I had the infamous rap battle with. I got 3 Black. I got some of I got Montez Ford. So there's a lot of really great, artists that are on this album, and it's like a ode to summer being over. Dear summer, I know you're gonna miss me. So, the S in summer is the dollar sign, because if it don't make dollars, then it don't make sense, and all I ever make is money, money, money. So, I appreciate you for having me on, man. It'll be on all streaming platforms. So, and you can follow me on all social media at AJ Francis 410.